to the Soft Rebellion podcast, a homecoming to the creative power of your female body. Our world uproots us from the gifts of the feminine, the intuitive, the instinctual, the cyclical, the soft. What's the result? Patriarchal cultures of perfectionism, shame, and disconnect that leave us constantly running, never arriving. Imagine a world of women softly rebelling, claiming our cyclicity, our weirdness, and our rest as we each courageously cultivate a deep and delicious relationship to our female bodies. My name is Flurina. I'm an osteopath, dancer, writer, and coach. I've been on my own journey sparked by an eating disorder to come home to the wild, poetic anatomy of my female body and awaken my creative power. And I invite you to join me and my guests, trailblazing teachers, healers, and creatives as we each reclaim our own soft rebellion. Hello and welcome to another solo episode in which I share from my own soft rebellion journey and how the soft rebellion shows up in my life right now. In these episodes, I share with you moments of glorious joy, gunky challenges, deep insights, and potent questions. This lifetime calls me to uncover the wildly poetic landscapes of our female body, which we are expressing and traversing months by months. And these episodes and sharings are my playground to do so with and for you. And today's episode is all about how to meet and reveal this inner rebellion, our softly rebellious expression, which so often, I can feel her so strongly, but it's not always so easy to really look into her eyes, hear her, and that of course has a lot to do with revealing our calling and that what we are meant to do and express and bring into this world. I know that you know the next step always. And you know deep down what you are meant to bring into the world. And it is often so hard to attend or maybe to trust this knowing and to hear it. And this is why I'm sharing today's experience with you, or an experience I recently had, and a reminder and 3 potent questions which really have supported me recently to kind of stay connected with my inner rebellion. And you might at the moment find yourself in a kind of wintering sleep with ideas and visions. And you might wonder, how do I know and what am I meant to do? You might find yourself kind of in sometimes these moments of not fully trusting the knowing can be challenging, or they can be very peaceful. You might be at the very beginning and spring phase of a new project, establishing your creative work and business and taking first steps. Or you might be in a summer of a project and wonder how this can go deeper and what the next step from there is. And I also want to acknowledge the fear which often is alive in us when we kind of, that fear of, what's if I really listen? We kind of sense the potential underneath and the power, and with that we sense that we will be confronted with different opinions, and opinions which our inner critique might label as a judgment. And that fear definitely did held me back in the past from stepping up, stepping out and doing things. And I regret these moments where I let fear hold me back. But I want to acknowledge that the fear might be with you, present in you as well. And wherever you are coming from, I just so much honor you taking the time to listen to this episode and to be part of the Soft Rebellious community. It's really been growing and kind of rooted much more in the last, let's say, 2 months. And I'm just so happy for you to be here. And before I even dive in more, I want to say, do reach out to me, share about your softly rebellious journey, how she shows up in your life, what you find inspiring, challenging, hard, easy, what you would like to be spoken about in this podcast. And if you would like to be a guest in this podcast too, this is really a conversation and a collective journey. I'm just holding the container. So, yeah, let me start with sharing how the soft rebellion has showed up in my life really recently. And with that, I really mean last week, this morning. And I almost thought that could be a whole solo episode in itself. I sometimes struggle defining what are these solo episodes about. But of course they are about how does the soft rebellion show up in my life. So last week, and I've sent it out this morning for the first time in my life, I have been pitching articles, pitching ideas for articles I really want to write, publish, share with the world. I kind of fell onto this path because recently I noticed with several things I got interested in or I want to apply for, people would say, well, send us your portfolio. And I realized, wow, I don't really have a portfolio with my writings. I've been publishing things many years back in Swiss newspapers, and I've done academic things, and I do my very creative writing, but I don't have a portfolio of written pieces which I have shown to the world. And I thought, okay, this is asked from me, so let's do it. And I've started looking for 2-3 journals which I feel and saw are aligned with what I want to talk about. And I've been pitching articles. And pitching an article basically means that you write a very succinct summary about what that article will be about, starting from why are you the right person to write this article? Why this topic? Why now? What is the reader gonna get from that? And this has been such an empowering and catalyst of a practice I did in these last few days that I thought I have to share that with you, because I noticed, wow, it doesn't even matter if any of those pitches is going to be accepted and if I publish any article or not, but I've learned so much about my vision and my message. I've learned so much about my message by writing a pitch. And it's really brought me so much closer in touch with my soft rebellion, with what she can't wait to share and kind of scream into the world, that I want to encourage all of you to just play with writing a pitch. If you would write a pitch, if you would publish an article in this or that journal which is read by, I just say something, 20,000 people, what is the message you want to convey, and what is the message you want people to connect with you? What is the message you fully stand behind? It's in a way also a question about what is your true, authentic expression. And also, what is your personal experience and expertise, right? For me, article writing is about weaving both of those strands together. What is really the essence of my personal experience? What is the gift in my story for the world? And what is the expertise I bring to share? I strongly believe that we don't need more facts in the world we are living today, but we do need shared lived experience. So the practice of writing a pitch is also really about stand in for yourself, honor who I am and what I do and what I did. Again, that question, why should I write this article, is like, woof, such a profound exercise. I came up with a whole list of, I really realized, wow, that's the path I went so far. That's what I bring to the conversation. So yeah, for me, it does feel in a way big and bold to do that. And the soft rebellion is she who is claiming her voice and sharing it with the world. And so I want to ask you, what's your pitch? And I would invite you to also explore how crafting a journal submission can really reveal your calling, connect you deeper to your calling. And hey, as an side product, you have a pretty cool, compelling summary of what it is, what you want to do. And, you know, why not actually sending it to an article, to a journal? I'd really love to hear from you how this invitation lands with you and how you got on doing and writing that. And I mean, that just also brings me to say that my journaling practice, but also writing practice, I'm writing on several creative pieces all the time, and my writing practice is so important on that journey of leaning into my calling, of actually, I'm a good dreamer and writing, I find, really helps us to put that onto paper, to kind of, it's almost for me like a bridge between that very wintering, dreamy state to actually lead it into the more spring phase and summer phase of any creativity. And from having shared that experience, let us dive into the second part I want to share today, which is a reminder that you don't have to know what you are doing. I just also want to take today's opportunity, it's a little bit a mixed bag of an episode. I want to remind you all that the soft rebellion is she who masters being with the unknown more than anything else. And I share that because let's say a month ago, I had an experience where I got so stuck in I have to know and produce and make a plan that I completely blocked any creativity and energy, and I was so holding on to I have to know and make a plan and be able to right now know exactly. Well, I knew my idea, but I need to exactly know how it's going to unfold and roll out and who I'm going to contact and what's going to happen in a month and in 2 months. And I need to know that it will arrive and land and blah, blah, blah. That I just ended up sitting on the couch and lose myself in tears. And that I so much tried to control and have to know that my inner critique, that's it, right? My inner critique, she who says, but are you really sure you will know and you can do this, got so loud that she completely took over. And what I then did, and that is related to the last part, which I'm going to share today, is I dropped everything and anything. I went outside. I happened to be at the seaside. I went to the sea, sat at the beach, and I dropped the having to know, and I just really dropped into the sensation in my body. I just really dropped into what was alive in me in this very moment. Because of course, underneath, I have to know, I have to be quick and produce and make result and achieve things, was a sadness, a pain, a deep exhaustion, some sense of a grief. It felt heavy. I think, but mainly I was just I was tired and afraid of not being good enough. And my inner child really, she just wanted to say, hey, look at me, hug me, love me. Deep down, it was very simple. I was afraid of not being good enough, and my inner child really needed attention. And so as I sat there on the beach and in a way got really intimate with that which just was so disturbing, right? All these fears, and I have to know, it was like this huge disturbance in my life. And I sat there and I just met that what is and was alive in me. And as I did that, something so remarkable happens. It felt as if, because I met that with so much tender love and intimacy, this disturbance, it felt as kind of the ocean within my own body, slowly but surely, kind of all these waves and stormy waves came, calmed down, came to a still point, and it felt as if that what just was really disturbing awakened deep knowing from within my body, as if my own physical structure got really not just alive, but alive on her own. And my body started speaking to me. It was something, I can't even explain that here, and I've never experienced something like that. Or I've never experienced it so profoundly. How that something which was so disturbing and mattered to me, actually in its core had such a potent energy, something so supple and potent, really wanting to speak to me. And I was literally sitting there and just downloading all the next steps. And that all happened within 1 hour. An hour ago, I almost threw everything away, thinking, I don't know when I have to know, and what the hell am I doing? And by meeting that with love and intimacy, I allowed something to shift and transform in my body. And suddenly, in that 1 hour later, I was literally downloading what I should write and do, and it just all came so easily. And long story short, I just want to take this as a reminder that the soft rebellion is really she, her, in my experience, who drops that desire to always know everything, but to really has the desire to feel and sense everything. Maybe be with the unknown and with the sensual. We don't need to know, but we need to feel and sense, because within the silent felt sensation is the most profound knowing we ever need to know. And this is when we reclaim the feminine, of course. When we say no to mind over body and to body-mind splits. This is when we say yes to being body as much as mind, to be womb as much as brain. And this, of course, is feminine leadership. To say, like Eve Ensler says, I feel, therefore I am. Leadership from the body rather from the mind. Of course, using logos and mind when it serves, but not letting logos purely guide us and get into the way. So we arrive in a place where I say, you don't need to know, but keep asking the right questions. And I've tried to summarize with this experience, what are these 3 questions which really help me to stay in that state and nurture the inner rebellion. And it's really these 3 questions. One is, how do I feel? How do I feel? And what is alive in me? And for me, I like to ask both those questions or journal about both, because they often reveal a different answer, or what is alive in me reveals another layer, more depth to other than if I just ask, how do I feel? I might say, I feel heavy and being held back. I feel dragging. And what is alive in me? There is this anger and rage, unrightness. can you see, for me, it often brings the deeper, the what lies underneath how I feel. So play with that. How do I feel? What is alive in me? And just be with that. The second question is, I just can't read my own words. The second question is that I ask, directed to my body, what do you need me to know? What do you have to show to me today? What do you need me to know? Often an answer I get is, go slowly, pace yourself, don't forget to rest. That's definitely one of the top 3 answers I get. But it's such a potent and important question to ask your body, ask that vessel of wisdom and intelligence you are lucky enough to inhabit. What do you need me to know? And ask it as much as you can with that image. I ask from my body to my body. And then the third question, what do you need from me? And for many years, that question I left out and I forgot about it all the time. I ask, what do you have to tell me? What do you need me to know? And what do you need from me? And with these 3 questions, I find these 3 questions are such a profound way to get in touch, to nurture, to start a conversation, a dialogue with our soft rebellion, inner rebellion. And that is the moment when healing happens, because it is the moment when you decide to no longer abandon yourself, because you attend to what is alive in you and you attend to what is the voice of what is alive in you, right? We could just, it's great and important to just be with what we feel, but it's so profound to ask these 2 further questions. What do you need me to know? And what do you need from me? And this for me is where I recently was thinking about the term medicine woman. And I know there are lots of meanings of the term and many meanings and stories and also from indigenous cultures, which I don't know yet about and haven't researched. But I like this term, the medicine woman. And I wondered, wow, in that moment when I say yes to this dialogue and conversation, I feel that I awaken the medicine woman within me. And there is a new definition of the soft rebellion born. The soft rebellion is she who fully expresses her medicine woman and her own medicine, her own healing. But healing definitely for me is about getting into relationship, to relate, to communicate, to listen, to speak, to move into what is painful and uncomfortable and reveal the medicine, the gift within that. So that's really everything I wanted to share with you today. I just summarized that again. I started sharing with you about that pitching experience and how that has been a catalyst to drop into what is the message I really want to share. And that brought us into the reminder that you don't have to know what you are doing, but you have to really get intimate with what you feel, with what's alive in you, and trust that the next step, the next thing, which is what you have to do, is arising from there. But it's probably in your body and not in your mind. Your body, she knows what. So in that moment, it's very simple. It's simple and hard at the same time. When we get stuck and frustrated about, I don't know what I do, it's just a wake-up call to return back to your body. And I'm on that path as much as you, and I'm not mastering it. Not at all. Not at all. And that brought me to say that you don't have to know what you're doing, but asking the right questions. And I shared these 3 questions, and I shared how when we ask these questions, we meet the inner rebellion at the same time. also tap into healing because we no longer abandon ourselves. And a quick credit here to the wonderful Amy Wilding, because she came up with that quote. I don't remember how the proper quote goes, but it is about that healing happens when we take the decision to no longer abandon ourselves. And I wished I would have written that quote. So I'll just keep quoting you, Amy. She was on the podcast, by the way, and I can link that episode. Yes. So your next step could be to write your own pitch, journal with those 3 questions, and reach out to me. Write a comment, tag me on Instagram, and share with me. Send me an email, softrebellion@flurinathali.com, and share how this landed with you, what your takeaways are, and what unfolded from you. And also, I really much want to invite you to sign up to my newsletter. If you head to my webpage, flurinathali.com, you can sign up to my newsletter, and I won't sell you anything. I'm actually only sending this newsletter once a month, and recently not really, but there are some wonderful things bubbling in my pot at this very moment, and they will be revealed very soon. And I really want you to be part of it, be there. It's all for free. I'm just really taking the Soft Rebellion to a next level, and I want you there. So it would be amazing if you could sign up to my newsletter. It's for me also, email is as you might have noticed, I'm actually not hugely often on social media. But I like to write. I like to write more personal letters, emails directly to you, and I'd love to have you there. So do that if you feel called to do that and want to claim your seat on the next level of the Soft Rebellion. And what is left to say? Please share this episode with all your friends and families if you feel, oh wow, yeah, there was something which might relate or resonate with your friends and family too. I'm sending you lots and lots of love. I'll be with you with a guest episode next week. And go and be your unique, weird, and wonderful self. Lots of love.